and how to lose and how to choose.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Walking Through Life. Today, I'm celebrating because it's my teddy bear's birthday. So today's show is dedicated to Teddy Bear Carbonell. Hey, Teddy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
And we happen to have a friend with us today, don't we?
Joyce.
And who's Joyce? Do you know?
Therapist.
Your therapist? Which is
Yeah.
also a really good friend, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
So Joyce is a licensed clinical social worker, and Joyce has worked with both Ted and I in years of therapy and coming through our paths of life, and just it's been a wonderful guide for me and for you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So today we're celebrating, and do you want to tell everybody how old are you, or should I?
I'm 57.
Oh, see?
57.
Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday. Yeah, so we usually celebrate his birthday like a whole week
Yeah.
because
couple days.
he's got so many friends that they all want to, do a birthday thing with him, so he gets
Yeah.
to celebrate all week long.
Yeah.
That's how popular he is.
Right.
Well, I'm honored to be here with you to celebrate your birthday.
I appreciate it.
You're a very special person, Ted.
You are too.
You are. And you-
Yeah.
do you want to talk a little bit about what you've been hoping to do?
Volunteer work or whatever.
So maybe if you ask the audience if maybe they had something that you could help them with. I know you talked about stacking wood.
Stacking wood and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
I like doing that.
yeah. Shoveling, that kind of stuff.
Shovel snow with people and stuff.
Yeah, you have a unique way of wanting to help people, I think.
Yeah.
And, that's something that we haven't talked about much, is that you are a man that
Yeah.
just lives to help people. And so many people appreciate that about you.
Yeah, they do.
And you've got such a big heart. Wouldn't you say, Joyce?
Yes,
Ted's got
yes.
one of the biggest hearts, He just, he loves people. He loves his wife, and he's proud to say it. And,
Yeah.
that means so much to me, too,
Yeah.
And I know you've got friends around town that just adore and love you,
Yeah.
I think you got them all buffaloed, though. I
Right.
really do. I do. I think you do. What do you think, Joyce? Do you think he...
Well, I think Ted is a very hard worker. And I think that one of the things that keeps Ted moving is all the things that he does do. The work that he does,
Yeah.
constantly needing to be doing something. And that gets Ted out, that gets him into the community. Ted has come down and done things for me.
he likes that.
He's surprised me a couple of times by coming down and sweeping off my porches before people got there. A couple of times in the
Yeah.
past he's done that. And I go, whoa, it's all done. I don't need to do that. So
Right.
Ted has been really special.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's true around the neighborhood too, where we live at. There's people that need their spots shoveled out, or their car shoveled off, or sometimes they need things taken to the trash if they're not too heavy. Ted can help them with that, or put in air conditioners, take them out. And it's just awesome how much he wants
Yeah.
to be helpful. Somebody, they can, as long as they're not taking advantage, can just ask him. And sometimes people ask too much, so we have to kind of, even though he wants to do it all the time, we have to kind of like put a block on that.
Yeah.
Just because he is so generous, Right. How many girlfriends have you got?
26.
See? So he's got a lot.
They're friends.
And why? I know
Carbonell.
why. Yeah, because you're Carbonell, right?
Yeah.
But I know another reason why too.
Why?
Because you're just so charming.
Yeah.
So cute.
He has a beautiful smile and a warm heart.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. And I just want the audience out there too is to hear how important it is for Ted to feel like he's worthy and like he wants to do something, whether it's volunteering, a job, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joyce, I know you've been very helpful with that too, helping to get him out. And that's one of the issues I think that we're going to talk about today too, is what is out there for opportunities for people like Ted that doesn't have anything to do all day, besides the maybe volunteering all the time, because of course he can't work. So there must be something else. I mean, and right now I don't think that there is. kind of like a drop-in center or somewhere for him to go to be amongst people, but our peers.
That's true, Linda. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and I do therapy part-time, but I also am a caregiver. And as a caregiver for someone with a disability, I'm constantly looking for things that young person can do as well during the day to feel the same as Ted, that to feel that they want to do something during the day, they want to get out and help people. I can't tell how many times people have said the same thing to me. They just want to help, whether that's digging in a garden, whether that's helping somebody put up their windows, an elderly person putting up their windows, cleaning the windows, just something to get out there with people, because that social interaction is so important. And I've looked around for a lot of places to try to see if I couldn't get some place that a person could go in and help. The difficulty that I've run into is Linda, there are many places in the Upper Valley that have some socialization. The problem is if you have specific disabilities, some disabilities you just can't go by yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
That's the issue, that you have to have somebody going with you, somebody that can help you maneuver through those social interactions. And that's the piece that I see that's missing. I do my best to try to help.
You're awesome with that.
I try to take them to different places.
Right.
But again, I'm limited by the time I can spend as well.
Right, because you're very popular in the area. I know that.
And I think caregivers, as a rule,
exactly.
have regular jobs and do a lot of things, and they try to do the best they can to get people, even to take somebody to the movies.
Yeah.
I know that there are matinees, there are things in the afternoon that individuals can go to, but they cannot go to those things by themselves.
Right.
They just cannot do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stems from people, don't you think, Ted? People
Yeah.
that have anxiety issues or that can get paranoid and things like that. And so instead of going and doing this stuff, it's kind of like a retrack. Wouldn't you acknowledge with that? I know I do, because I have also suffered with a social anxiety. And for me, it's hard to confront and overcome. And I know, Ted, you've done a great job. I mean, you're so popular now, and everybody loves Ted.
Yeah.
And he's just a big teddy bear. And both of us, I think, Joyce, would like to give you credit for helping. I mean, I know when you were my therapist, one of the biggest things is we played. We had teddy bears.
Yes,
we had all this
yes,
stuff.
we did.
And it was just like being that small again. It was acceptable. And I can't thank you enough for that, for allowing me to be my little girl that I needed to be at the time.
Well, I firmly believe, as you understand, Linda, I firmly believe in meeting the person where they are and gradually walking with them forward. That's why I love the name of your show.
Yeah.
Because that is my philosophy. That's where I come from. And I'd like to tell a little story, if I might, about Ted. Ted told me many times that he had worked, many years ago, he had worked at a place in Woodstock called the Mountain Creamery. And I said to Ted, well, I only work so many days, so when I have a day off, Ted, I will take you out to the Mountain Creamery. On the way out to Woodstock to the Mountain Creamery, Ted said, I wonder if anybody will be there that I know. Yeah. So we went to the Mountain Creamery out in Woodstock where Ted used to work. And the person who came up to us to wait on us happened to be a friend of Ted's who had actually picked him up and brought him to work.
Yeah.
The man that was managing the Mountain Creamery,
owner.
the owner, he came out and he saw Ted, and it had been many years. He saw Ted, And he walked over to the table and he sat down at the table with us. And Ted talked with him. And this owner gave the waitress 5 or 10 minutes to sit down and reminisce with Ted. I'm sure that Ted enjoyed that day,
I did.
but I can tell you, I enjoyed that day as much as Ted did.
Yeah.
Because for that brief period of time, I saw Ted interacting with these people that he had known and how they interacted with him and the social ability that he had that day. He could talk, the way he was talking with them, I got a very clear picture of how Ted used to be.
Yeah.
And how he is today.
And that was huge for me.
Yeah.
That showed me how Ted is who he is today.
That's right.
Those people cared for him.
Yep.
And those
Still do.
people said,
I knew him over 20 years.
you knew them for over 20 years,
Yeah.
and they wanted to know if I would bring you back.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the new year, we're going back.
Yeah.
And we may even invite your wife.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be nice. I have a question, though. You said that a waitress sat down
Mm-hmm.
with him. Was there any flirting going on, or?
No.
No, she was really clear that they were friends. She made that quite clear to me because
Yeah.
she
Well, that's
she
good.
didn't know. She didn't know who I really was. Ted introduced me as his friend, and she was making it quite clear that she just liked him, and he didn't have a car, so she was just picking him up.
Good. Just wanted to make sure, you know. Like he said, he has 26 girlfriends, you know.
They're just friends.
Okay. That's good. Who's your number one girl?
You.
Aw, I'm that sweet. Yeah. I got to tell you, Ted gives great back rubs too whenever my back hurts. I think he's a very sensitive person, is what I like to call sensitive too, that he can see when somebody's hurting and he wants to make them feel better.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's just one of those wonderful qualities of Ted. Ted also doesn't hang on to resentments. He's able to forgive and forget. And Ted, I know that I don't often give you a chance to talk or to
Yeah.
express, what your feelings really are. But today, I'd like to do that. I'd like you to talk a little bit about what your hopes, dreams, and your passion is. What you want to do from here. What you would like to see happen in your life.
Now, how about people? Volunteer work.
Is there anything in particular that you would like to help out with?
No.
Just anything.
Anything, mostly.
What a sweetheart, isn't he, though?
Yes.
So when we were talking a little bit about caregivers, Joyce, and one of the things I want to say about Ted and I both is that we both have made out our advanced directives. So we know when each other is sick, when our mental illness is acting up or whatever. And Ted can see that where I
Yeah.
can't. The same with me. I can see when he's getting sick and he can't. And both of us rely so heavily on each other to be able to say, hey, you're not doing very well. You may need to go and, get a medication change, or whatever. And I just think that's so important for people that we do have, especially here in Vermont, the Ulysses Cause. And I think it's been great for both me and Ted, too.
Yeah.
And I think it's really a good thing that you can get someone to come and actually do those advanced directives with you.
Right.
That if you're scared or you don't know how to do that, the people that come and do that, the advanced directives with you, are very, very sweet. I've actually had them come several times for individuals to my building on 80 North Main Street, just because it was peaceful, it was quiet, and the disability rights people have come down, and they
Disability
have
rights of
just
Vermont, yeah.
of Vermont, they have come down, they have worked it through, they've helped people put those together, so it's not the scary process that it looks like. And I know that you and Ted did that, and it's very important for people to do that.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's wonderful that you and Ted have each other. Not everyone that has a disability lives with somebody that can do that. A lot of times they're alone. They're alone in their apartments, they're alone in their houses, they're alone in a room that's in someone's house. sometimes they don't have that.
And this is what would be good with kind of what my passion is too, is having like a day treatment or a drop-in center for people with mental illness, because like the teen center, like the recovery centers, like Listens and all that, those are great. But I think people that have mental health disabilities also need to have a little bit of structure in their life where they do have some kind of a program where they can go in and have structure of things that they can do throughout the day and socialize with other peers and stuff like that, but also have somebody there to make sure nothing goes wrong. And I think that's a passion of mine I would really like to see happen here in White River, actually. I think it's been brought up several times. It just hasn't gone that far yet. And I think we might need help with that too. So if there's anybody out there that could maybe help with ideas for that, it would be great. You could email me or give me a call. I'll give you the information after the show.
I think that, I really echo that, Linda.
Yeah.
I think that is so important for people to get together. It's a socialization time, and it's also a time that people can feel free to come do what they need to do, and they can. And if there's a person there if the person that is in that setting doesn't feel like they're able to continue, it's important to know there's a person there that can walk outside of that room with them and just be with them and make sure that they get out of that space in a very, very mentally safe place.
Exactly, and I think that's what the importance of having staff available is, and I know, of course, myself having a mental illness, that sometimes you can get symptomatic, I guess that's what you call it, where you don't, your symptoms are at a high peak up here, and you could be affected and not even realize it. And that's important, I think, for myself when I've been in several day treatments. I think that's an important thing that I learned, because it was often the staff saying, we've noticed this.
Yes.
And sometimes you don't see when that's happening. You know what I mean? And so that's another reason why I think it's so important. I think it's so important to have a place where people can go and just feel safe and know that there's people there that understand them.
And I think a lot of times, Linda, people with disabilities are often asked, what is it that you would like to do? And that seems like a very easy question, but to a person sometimes with a disability, they really can't put those things into words. It's easier if they have some options. It's easier if they have different things they can do.
Exactly, yeah.
And I know that there are some places in the Upper Valley where that have just opened recently that have some really good programs going. Again, the problem is a person with disability oftentimes will not walk into those programs.
Exactly, yeah.
Like a craft or anything that's going
Right.
on. They will not walk in there by themselves. If someone else goes with them, they will. Yeah. I can tell you that because I took somebody over to Sparks, which is the new place. They would not go there by themselves, but the
Sure.
minute I walked in with them, they were able to do that.
The Sparks Community Center,
Yes.
that's a great new avenue for
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
to be able to go over, and they have many things that you can do, and it's a wonderful, wonderful drop-in center.
It is.
Recommend it to anybody, yeah. And, and I know that this has been a passion of all three of us here,
Yes.
is, this idea of community being able to help people with mental illness, especially with the state hospital being closed. And, people often see people on the street with mental illness and don't understand, and they're afraid of them, and, the whole 9 yards. So it's not only unsafe for the person that has the mental illness, but people in the community may feel unsafe too, because they just don't understand.
And Linda, sometimes that fear that people see and that they pull away from, sometimes that is because the person with a disability is also very frightened, and the person with a disability might be pulling back.
Right.
And when they pull back, that oftentimes gets sometimes misread by the people that are walking up to them or around them. They don't understand any more than the person with a disability understands.
Right.
You get scared.
Yeah.
You can address that, can't you, Ted?
Yeah, I can.
There have been times that you've kind of moved back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
especially around people.
around people. That's right. You don't
can get
understand
scary.
what's going on sometimes, and it takes you a minute to figure out, okay.
Yeah,
And when you do that, sometimes other people don't understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
But I'll tell you, you go down to, you go down to the Tucker box. I'm amazed at that.
He
The-
loves
the-
that place.
The young ladies that are the
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
baristas,
I told you, the girlfriends, they just
That's
keep coming
right.
out of the woodwork. Well, look at him smirk on that
they
one.
know him. They
Well,
they
he's-
say, "Hey,
he's got-
Ted."
he's got that
Yeah.
with the special and advanced transit that I get too. They all, if I get on the bus by myself, they're like, "Where's Ted?" You know? Yeah. So, but
I think it's
just-
important.
Yeah,
It's very
and-
important to have a presence.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And I just want everybody to know how much I do love my Hoopy Doopy do, my little teddy bear, because that's what he is to me. And just how special he is and how much I really love him. And, when I first met him and he told me what his diagnosis was, which was schizophrenia, I was quite scared because, I shared that with him because I had been with somebody that had schizophrenia that was very violent. And so I was afraid of that. But Ted has never had a violent bone
No.
in his body, ever, when he's affected or any other time. It's just scary, sometimes when the voices act up for him. And it's scary for him, not for me.
It is.
Because, for me, I'm okay, but it's scary for him. And, and I never want to see him be scared of anything because he's just a rock. He's a rock. He's a rock
Yeah.
for so many people, Takes good care of his kitties, too. We have 3 kitty cats, don't we?
yeah,
Yeah. So is that your mission this year, to
Yeah.
find people that you can really help, that need
yeah,
help?
yeah,
I think you'd be good at that.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Joyce, I like to see that you and Ted have a special relationship, and and it just brings back the relationship that you and I had for so long. And then, of course, my life changed and got better, and I moved on, and I'm doing so much better now. And obviously, I got to give you some of that credit. Besides myself, I got to give you. You had the patience. You had I had the opportunity to be the Linda that I knew that I could be and wanted to be.
I'm really proud of you, Linda. I am.
That means a lot to me.
I hope that you continue writing. The other day, I was going through some papers and putting them away, and I found some more of your writing
Really?
and that you had done, and I was like sitting there just in awe of those writings that you had done. That's the thing, that the expression, and I'd like to see people like Ted express himself through the things that he does.
Exactly.
I am always in awe in the springtime, and I can't hardly wait to go down to their little yard to see what Ted has planted in his little garden,
yeah,
He
because
helps me
they're
so-
beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah,
We got, what do we got? Tulips, and we got some different types of flowers that we put in the ground
roses,
this fall to bring out. Yeah. Ted
That's
always digs the
creativity.
holes for me, and then we
Yeah.
plant them, and he takes care of them, waters them. When I
Very creative.
yeah,
yeah,
Ted is very creative.
he is. I love it when he plays his guitar for me and sings.
Yes. Once in a while, I get a chance to hear that. Not as much as I
Yeah.
used to, but once in a while, I get to hear
He
that.
cooks a mean barbecue too.
He does.
He cooks a mean barbecue.
And
Yeah.
I happen to know that some people in his little community really, really like that barbecue.
yeah,
They like when Ted does a barbecue
Yeah.
because you share that.
yeah,
He does. We it's if somebody's just comes by or whatever, he often invites them. We're having a barbecue. Come on down, and I think that's neat.
I
you
do
know?
too.
Yeah. And for you, Ted, I just want to say, through these past 18 years now,
yeah,
and how we've grown together
Yeah.
and all of that, and your 57th birthday.
yeah,
And you know what? You don't look a day over, I'd say 42, 43.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he just looks so young, and
yeah,
and I remember taking that picture out of you when I first met you in the curly brown hair, and when you decided to grow your beard back and your hair. And I see that, Ted,
Yeah.
all the time. All the time, all the time. I do.
Yeah.
And everybody here loves you too, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have a birthday cake today, though,
No.
or birthday candles. But I'm sure that we can sing happy birthday to him.
Oh, I like that.
Would you like us to leave off with singing happy birthday to you?
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Ready.
We'll get this chorus going now. Okay, ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ted. Ooh. Happy birthday to you.
We love you.
And many more.
Yeah.
You will. And you got something to look forward to Saturday, which is 57 spankings and an inch to grow an inch.
Yeah.
Or a
Oh,
pitch to
I don't
grow an
know.
inch.
I don't know. I don't know if he wants to grow much taller.
Well, it depends if I have my high heels on or not.
Oh, that's
If
true.
I have my high heels on, I'm taller than he is.
I
Yeah.
see.
I wanted to, before we go to, I wanted to know if you could look in the camera and just give a special message to everybody out there.
What kind of message?
Whatever you would like to tell them about, whatever. It's whatever you want to say.
I don't know.
What means the most to you? What kind of message do you want everybody to hear about you?
Help each other out and stuff.
Oh, that's a
That's
beautiful
a
message.
good one.
Help each other out. I like
Yeah.
that, Ted.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful message.
sure
Yeah.
is.
Ah, the smile's even better. That's a beautiful smile,
Yeah.
Ted.
Do you want to take us out by saying goodbye for Walking the Life today?
See you later. Goodbye, walking life.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Walking through this life of mine, well, it's teaching me so many things, like how to love and how